This has been sat in my studio for the last 24 hours and I've been itching to open it for you guys. Been waiting to show you. This is the Roland AE-10G, the new graphite model of the Roland Aerophone. In this video I'm going to unbox it, I'm going to find out what's inside, have a bit of a play with it, and also talk a little bit about why electronic saxophones or electronic wind instruments are a really great idea. Electronic saxophone, is that a good idea? Okie dokie guys, so Nigel here from Sax School. This is the Roland AE-10. They've sent it over to me to have a bit of a look at and I'm really excited about checking it out. Now I should just say I've not been paid by Roland, this is not endorsed at all. I just asked Roland to send me one of these because I thought it'd be interesting to show it to you guys. So I'm really excited to check it out and show you this today and also have a bit of a chat about why you should look at an Aerophone or electronic wind instrument. Now I've been excited about electronic wind instruments since the 80s I suppose. The first thing I heard was Michael Brecker playing In a Sentimental Mood on an EWI. I think it was like a really early version of the EWI. You not heard it? Check this out. Oh man, that was amazing. That changed my world. I remember hearing that and thinking, I've got to check out one of those. In fact, I went out and I bought an EWI. So this is my EWI, and this is a newer version, and I've had a couple of different EWIs. But the thing about the EWI, it's an awesome instrument, and when you hear Michael Brecker play, it sounds amazing. But it's hard to play, and I think that's the thing a lot of people struggle with. However, I think the Aerophone, I'm hoping, is going to solve a lot of the problems that most people have with this. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, so let's have a look inside. So it's all nicely packaged, and actually a really cool thing straight off the bat that I love about this Roland Aerophone is it comes in a case, which is something my EWI never did. Rightio, so you get some paperwork in here, and this is going to be the important instruction manual. I'm not very good with manuals, but I might have to read it for this one because I think there's lots to learn. Okay, we've got some notes about what to do with the mouthpiece up here as well. Also in the bag, we've got a little elasticy thing to put around the mouthpiece. I think that'll come in handy in a minute. Alright, this is the exciting part. This is the actual Aerophone. Let's get it out of the box. Woo! Look at that! Look at that! Oh, that makes a good noise, doesn't it? That's pretty cool, pretty portable, huh? Now it's got a handle on the top, it's got a shoulder strap. That is super cool. You know, something that I get asked a lot by my sax school students, I get this question a lot, I got it just this week actually. Someone was saying that they live in an apartment and they have a hard time practicing because they're worried about volume. So, you know, is this an answer? Possibly. I mean, the good thing about an electronic wind instrument is that the key work is the same as a saxophone. So, you know, you can be working on your technique, not making any sound at all. That's pretty cool. The other thing that's good about electronic wind instrument is that you can travel with it. I mean, look how small that is. That's much smaller than a soprano. You definitely get on an aeroplane with that. Should we have a look inside? Okie dokie. Oh, I love the way it's so well made. Okay, so in here we've got a couple of little goodies. Can you have a look in there? Very well made case. Foam. Stylish. We've got some bits and bobs in here. Looks like there's a mouthpiece cap, a neck strap. And then in here, oh, we've got some gubbins. We've got a charger, British charger too, that's good. It really drives me crazy when you get stuff these days, in England at least, and they've got like the European thing and then you've got to put an adapter on. I hate that. Cool. And this is the actual Aerophone. All right. I love the suspense of this because not only is it in a box, in a bag, in another bag, it's in another bag. Look at this. Kind of a weird, sexy shape too. Ooh. Here it comes. Can you see it? And there it is. Okie dokie. Look at that. So that is the new graphite Roland Aerophone. Very cool. Now, one of the things that people struggled with the EWI, in my opinion, and I know I struggled with this as well, is the fact that the keys were touch sensitive. And so that meant when you're playing it, you had to really learn it like its own instrument, really, because you had to have a different technique to the way you play a saxophone in order to avoid any extra glitchy notes in there. And Roland have done a very clever thing where all the buttons, they actually move. Can you hear that? All the buttons move in and out. They've even got little pearly finishes on there, which is cool. So you've got the same key layout as a saxophone. Right, we're familiar here, you've got the B flat key and everything. You've got the bottom keys like your saxophone. You've got the extra F sharp, you've got the side keys, you've got the palm keys here. And you've even got this stack the same as on it. So all the key work is the same as the saxophone. I'm going to get some batteries in this, so I'm going to get powered up and we'll have a listen to it. Okay, so it takes 6 AA batteries in there. Of course you could use the power adapter as well, but it's kind of cool that you can run it from 6 batteries as well. Now, I guess the whole point of this is that it's a portable instrument. I think there's a bunch of reasons why people would want to play an electronic wind instrument. The first is convenience and, you know, I guess being interested in trying something new. So it's an alternative, another way to enrich your whole experience of learning the saxophone. So, you know, you're not only playing a normal saxophone, but you can also have some fun with something like this. And it's portable and, you know, you can take it with you when you're traveling, all that sort of stuff. But then, of course, the other side of playing an instrument like this is that it is its own instrument, it's its own thing. So it kind of expands the whole experience of playing saxophone. You know, not only can you play saxophone sounds, but you've got access to all these other sounds. And I was keen to try this because I know Roland make amazing sounds. They've got great sounds, right? Think about all the classic Roland keyboards. I've always loved the sounds that they have. So now we've got access to some of those sounds inside something that I can play like a saxophone. I'm not a great piano player, you know, but I'm pretty good at playing saxophone. So I've got these skills and I can apply them now and access all these other sounds. So that's really interesting to me. Okay, so the on-off switch is here. Uh-oh, batteries are in upside down. Okie dokie, so on-off switch is up here. Oh, look, it's doing something. And there we go, we've got some information coming up in here. Okay. Okay, so I've been having a good play with it. It's a pretty cool instrument. There's so much you can do with it. And I think it's one of those things that the more you play with it, the more you'll discover. So there are some really, really cool sounds in there. A couple of quick things. Okay, so you do play with a reed and you actually use the reed like you would on a saxophone. And actually, more so than with the Akai Iwi, with this I really feel it feels like you're playing a saxophone. So you have to use embouchure control, you have to think about using vibrato and your intonation, and it's all done with that reed on the mouthpiece. So it's very similar to playing a saxophone, and actually, you know, there's no substitute for actually playing a saxophone, but it does feel more like a saxophone than anything else I've played before, which is really cool. Now the saxophone sounds, it does something that really annoys me actually. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a little scoopy thing at the start of the sound. But I did discover that you can go in the settings and you can actually change all those sorts of things. And there's a setting in here which is called, here it is, vibrato down. If I take that off, actually that seems to sort it out. The fingering is the same as a saxophone and the keys do move, but it does take a couple of minutes to get your fingers used to the movement. You still need to be very accurate with it. I'll show you what's happening on the back. So here, you've got octave up and octave down, and you've got a second octave up and a second octave down, and it really depends on the saxophone, on the sound. So for example, the saxophone sounds, you only get the normal 1 octave, and then you've got altissimo fingerings, like you would on a real saxophone. But for all the other synthy sort of sounds, you can actually go up and up again, and then down and down again, so you get, what, 5 octaves, 6 octaves if you use your altissimo fingerings. So that's really, really cool. And down here, I was a bit confused about this at the start, but if you see on the thumb here, there's a little joystick there, And that's pretty cool. It does lots of things. If you push it one way, you get like a growly sound, and then you got bending up and bending down. So for bending notes up and bending notes down. But on some of the sounds, you can actually do a movement with that to get an octave double or a whole chord. So that's really, really cool. Now in the back here is where you adjust the sounds and all of the settings and stuff. So everything's all contained, and I like the way that you've got a display as well. That's very, very cool. Now actually it does have a speaker in it. I've got it plugged into my speakers in the studio here, but if I plug that out, then it will work just through the speaker here. Sounds a bit tinny, but so you've got that option, and if you're traveling, that might be really, really cool. But of course you could also plug headphones in here and then use it with your headphones on. I think that's probably going to sound better. Now there's another really cool feature. I'm going to show you some of the sounds in a second, but there's another really cool feature that you can do with this, and that is you can connect your iPad or your iPhone or whatever to play a backing track straight through the device. I'll show you what I mean. So if I get a normal mini jack, okay, so I've got it connected here with my iPad. I'm using iReal Pro, but you could use, you could have your backing tracks loaded into iTunes or something like that. You could use any MP3 player, I suppose, any track player, and it plays from here via mini jack straight into your Aerophone, and then the sound that comes out of the Aerophone includes that. So you can mix the two things together. So I suppose if you are like wanting to go and use it as a gigging, in the gigging scenario, or even as a practicing thing, and I think that's where it's more powerful, you can play it straight through. It's a bit of a dodgy saxophone sound, but have a listen. There's some really cool sounds in here, and I think, to be honest with you, the sounds other than the saxophone sounds are the ones that I'm most excited about. Some really great lead synth sounds, some other instrument sounds too, like flutes and bagpipes and trumpets and all sorts of stuff. This is a cool one, number 8. Now of course it's got a trumpet sound as well, a muted trumpet. You always got to have one of those. I think the Aerophone is an awesome instrument, and the more I play it, the more I like it. But it does take some getting used to, and there are some quirky things in there too about the saxophone sounds, which I think is I've never ever discovered a great synth saxophone sound. But I think the magic with an instrument like this is finding a way to use it to get the best out of those sounds. So I'm going to be having loads of fun with this over the next couple of weeks, trying to make some good music with it. So that's the Roland Aerophone. If you're using it, let me know in a comment if you use one of these, or if you use a different electronic wind instrument. I'd like to know. And also which one's your favourite, or if you've got this graphite one, because I think it's pretty cool. So don't forget to leave me a comment. If it's your first time on this channel, please subscribe too, because I'm making videos all the time, and all my videos are really about helping you to learn saxophone, hopefully keep you inspired and help you have a bit of fun as well. Keep practicing hard. I'll catch you next time.